You guys, welcome to Shelf Timber in November. Basically, the idea behind this month-long pantry challenge is we're going to use up everything that we already have on hand in the freezer, in the pantry. We're going to try and make room for all of the Christmas crazies and the excess food that we have on hand for all of that entertaining. For you guys who don't know, we actually have 2 kids' birthdays in between Christmas and New Year's. It is a crazy time for us, and one of those birthdays this year is going to be an 18th. So December is gonna be Nazi cuckoo at our place. Ton of fun, but a lot going on. So here's the plan. I'm going to cap our weekly spending for the entire family, everything that we need, to $50 a week. Confession, I have budgeted $400 for the month, but what I would really like to do is keep it at 50, not buy any stickers or markdown goodies. I want to empty out the fridge, the freezer and the pantry so we've got room not only for the Christmas stuff but also for the summer harvest that's going to start coming in out of the veggie garden soon. I want to make room for that sort of stuff. I want to make sure that I've got lots of room on hand for all of the Christmas celebrations, birthdays, New Year's, all of that sort of stuff. But you know what? I also want to put some cash in our pockets as well. So we are going to use up what we have. We're going to save as much as we can. We're going to go bare bones. We're going to do tight ass Tuesdays every day of the week, and we're going to save as much cash as we can. Today is week 1. Let's jump in and make this happen. Okay, so that didn't go quite according to plan. May have picked up some stickers, but let me turn this around and show you what I picked up and what my plan is and what I'm going to do with this stuff. All right, $41.10. Lots of marked down things. I am going to use the majority of this up, cook it, get meals in the freezer, things ready to go. So we have picked up 6 2-litre milks for 99 cents. So there's probably 3 weeks worth of milk there for us. We'll see how we go. Somewhere between 2 and 3 weeks we should get out of that. I've also picked up some eggs that were marked down. I've got 2 dozen and I still have half a dozen left in the fridge. What I am going to do with these is cook some of them up for breakfasts, have them ready to go, and the other dozen I'm going to boil, and we're going to have them to do, say, egg and lettuce sandwiches this week, or have hard boiled eggs to have for snacks, or to throw through salads or something along those lines. So all of these eggs are going to get cooked up today and we have them ready to go. Some of them are going to go into the freezer for breakfasts and snacks later on as like little mini egg muffins or something along those lines. I'll probably use some for some baking as well and cook up some pancakes or something along those lines that I can also get in the freezer and use up some of our pantry supplies and have breakfasts ready to go for the month of November. These were hard to pass up, each one of these, and I've picked up 4 1 kilo packs of sausages. Were $2.40 each, and I'm going to get 2 full meals out of each one of these packs. So essentially we have 8 meals here. Things like curried sausages, sausage casserole, sausage and rice, heaps of different things that I can do with these. So I will cook a couple of these up and do some of these meals this week and get them into the freezer to have for lunches and ready-made dinners. And 2 packets I think are going to end up in the freezer, even though I said no stickers. It is hard to pass up deals like this, so I did grab them. Also marked down, I grabbed 2 loaves of bread, and we're going to use these to do those egg and lettuce sandwiches this week. All right, not marked down, stuff at the front, a block of cheese. We've got some quick oats to make breakfasts when we're not having things like the eggs or the pancakes. Grab some bananas as fruit this week. Wasn't a bad price, wasn't a great price. They were $3 a kilo. So we will use those as snacks and put on our breakfasts as well. I did grab some tomatoes. Tomatoes were $2.90 a kilo. This is just over 500 grams. So it ended up being about $1.50 for all of these tomatoes. So not too bad. I will use some of these in the egg muffins that I'm going to make, and then we'll have some more to have in salads, because I do have some lettuce in the fridge that needs to be used up. We can also do them on sandwiches as well. And the other thing that I grabbed this week were some white potatoes. So the 2 kilo bag was $4 at Coles. I will use this during the week, do some of the meals that we are going to do, and this is going to help me use up some of the things that are in the freezer at the moment. So that is it. That is all I grabbed for this week. I know I said I wasn't going to put anything in the freezer, but well, you know, that happened. So I do have a good plan for it though, and it's going to put us in front. So November is off to a good start. So before I go and pop all of this away, let's have a quick peek and see what is in the fridge and the freezer that we need to use up. I'm just going to fry the last two up. Removed the casing of the sausages. Get some mini frittatas cooked today. I'm going to use up the sausage mince that we minced up, a little bit of each of those into each of the cups. I'm also going to throw in some veggies. I'm going to dice up the tomato. I'm going to use some of these chopped kale portions. I think this may be the last box that we've got, so I'm going to defrost some of these, mix that through the eggs. I'll probably use almost all of these eggs, probably aiming for about 10 and trying to get a dozen of these breakfast frittatas or mini muffins or whatever you want to call them. Some will go into the fridge, they'll last a couple of days in the fridge, and some will go in the freezer. All right, dinner number one is going to be a really quick and easy chicken, bacon, and broccoli pasta. I'm just going to make a really simple sauce using some coconut cream and my favorite flavorings. I love Tuscan seasoning, and this Season It All is basically almost just like any kind of chicken seasoning. We'll have a look. What has it actually got in it? So the ingredients in this one are just parsley, black pepper, mustard powder, chili flakes, coriander powder, turmeric, salt, and other spices, whatever that means. But just a really simple sort of like a chicken seasoning would work just as well. Or just go for the Tuscan, because that's amazing. So I'm going to fry off the chicken. I've got about 500 grams or a little bit shy of chicken. I'm also going to throw in some bacon. I'm going to fry that off, chop the broccoli up quite small. That's all going to go into the sauce while the pasta cooks. And then I'm going to fry off some of these mushrooms that really need to be used up. They are past their best before date. And I'm just going to sprinkle that on top for the people who like mushrooms. And I'll probably top it with some cheese as well. But that's it. Really, really simple. And this sauce is so good and so easy. It'll be a little bit runny. So what you want to do is keep a little bit, like 1/4 cup of the pasta water after the pasta is cooked. Chuck it in the sauce, and then that helps the sauce bind to the pasta when you mix them together again. Tonight we're going to do a Mexican rice with some of the pork sausage that I cooked up the other day. So there's 30 pre-cooked sausages in here. I'm going to use 10. What I want to try and do is get 3 meals out of those sausages, plus the little breakfast egg muffins that I made as well. So this one tonight is really good. It is pretty much dump everything in a pot kind of meal. So the flavorings are going to come from the diced tomatoes and the Mexican chili powder. You can use a pre-made one like I'm going to do and just go that way, or you know, you can make it from scratch. It doesn't really matter. I'm going to be lazy tonight and just use the Master Foods one. I'm also going to throw some chicken stock in there as well to cook the rice. The protein is going to be the sausages and one of these packs that's got chorizo, salami in there as well. I'm going to dice all of that up and mix it through. We've also got some black beans that I've cooked earlier. These have been in the freezer for a while, so there's some black beans and some rice left over from an earlier batch of chili. I'm going to use that up out of the freezer. I'm also going to use up some old celery that's been in there hanging around for a while, so we're going to pop some celery, some corn in there, and I even found some jalapenos that I've already cut up and frozen as well, so that's coming out of the freezer as well. So lots of things in there, using up out of the freezer for tonight's dinner. Alright, tonight we're going to do a really quick and easy chicken stir fry. I'm going to try and use up some of these veggies that I picked up last week that we still have. I've still got one more head of broccoli to use. I've got some sugar snap peas out of the garden, so I'm going to try and use those up this week, or maybe get them into the freezer. Although they're still feeling pretty firm, so we'll see how they go over the next couple of days. All right, so this is really easy. Basically, it's almost like a chicken and cashew type chicken stir fry. So I'm going to fry off the chicken and the stir fry veggies, cook some rice, and then the sauce is just going to be chicken stock, which I will thicken with some corn flour and throw in some soy sauce and some sweet chili sauce. So really quick and easy. If I've still got some peanuts, which I'm pretty sure that I do, I'll just have to go and have a look. I will also chuck some peanuts over the top, but super simple stir fry that everybody really enjoys. So let's get cooking. To make the sauce, I've got 2 heaped teaspoons of corn flour and 1 of the Marcel 7's chicken flavored stock cubes in here. I'm going to make a bit of a paste out just by adding some water, mixing this all together, and then once I've made the paste, I'm going to continue and add a cup of water, and then I'm going to pour this over the stuff in our wok. Next up is going to be a good swig or a splash of these two. I don't really measure. Maybe it's probably going to be about 2 tablespoons of the soy sauce and yeah, 2 tablespoons of the sweet chili. But we'll see how we go, and if we need to add more, we'll add more. Tonight we're going to do a quick chicken and corn soup. It's going to be pretty basic. I'm just going to make the chicken stock, toss in some creamed corn, some shredded chicken. I think there's some rice in the fridge which I'll put in there. I will thicken it up with a little bit of corn flour, and I think we're going to try and make some garlic bread or cheesy herb bread to go with this as well. To go with the soup, we're going to do some cheesy herb bread. I'm going to use some of the marked down spread that I picked up. I'm going to mix that with some mixed herb and some Tuscan. I'm going to top it with some grated cheese. And what I'm going to use is these leftover hot dog rolls. I'm going to cut them in half, top them, and stick them under the grill. All right, tonight is Friday night. It is our family fun night, and we are going to make homemade pizzas. Now, ordinarily, when I make a pizza base at home, I just do one that uses flour and Greek yogurt, but we don't have any yogurt, so I'm going to have a go at making a yeast-based pizza dough, which I haven't done in ages, because to be totally honest with you guys, I don't normally leave enough time for the yeast to do its thing. So today I'm trying to be very organized, and I'm going to get in and start these pizza bases early, and then I'm going to work out what we're going to top them with. I should also say the recipe that I'm going to follow tonight does come from taste.com, so I will link it down below so you can follow along if you want to have a go at making your own yeast-based pizza dough at home. Saturday today, and my plan for this morning is to head back to the fridge. I want to see what is still left in there, and I'm going to do a bit of a batch cooking, use it up session this morning, making sure that the things that are left in the fridge that need to be used up are used up. So let's go and have a look, see what's in there, see what we can pull together, get a couple of things cooked this morning. They're probably going to go into the freezer for us to use for lunches and things next week or later on in the month. But the main plan today is to make sure that nothing that is still in the fridge that's on its last legs is going to go to waste. So let's jump in and get that happening. Okay, we have some leftover pizzas in these containers here from last night. We'll probably use those for lunch today and tomorrow, so they're going to get used up. We also have some of the egg muffins that I made in this container. So the leftover ones in here, I'm going to put into some Ziploc bags and put those into the freezer to use later on. I still have some of the sausages. There's enough here to do one more big cook up. So I'm looking at doing some curried sausages today with this, and these are all going to go into the freezer. We also still have some of the hard-boiled eggs that we've been using as snacks, and there are a couple left to cook with. So what I might be able to do today is also get some either vegetable fritters or some fruit pancakes cooked, and pop them in the freezer for breakfast and snacks as well. A couple of bananas that need to be used up, so I am thinking we might be doing some fruit pancakes. These containers have the leftover Mexican rice and sausage in here. There's actually 3 containers. They're all going to go into the freezer, and we'll be able to use those later on down the track for lunches or dinners when nobody feels like cooking. Down the bottom, I've still got those sugar snap peas. I'm going to blanch and freeze those this morning. At the back, half a head of broccoli. So I'm going to use this in tonight's dinner. And I think there is like 1 stick of celery that I didn't freeze, and we'll probably use that for a snack today and do some ants on a log. Lots of cheese and some pre-cut cheese there. All right, down in the crisper, this butternut pumpkin I've had for a couple of weeks, so I probably need to cook that up and do something with that. And I'm probably just going to boil it and puree it and put it in the freezer, and then that way I can use it to either make a soup or use it to make some pumpkin breakfast cookies or pumpkin muffins or pumpkin pancakes or anything along those lines. I have 1 red cap. It still feels quite firm, so I'm probably going to leave that and use that next week, but early next week. Some carrots, still got a whole bag down the bottom there. A couple of tomatoes, 1 lonely apple that's been in there for a while too. It's starting to get a bit soft, so I could potentially grate that up and put that into some fruit pancakes. So that is today's job. We've got quite a bit to do here in the fridge, which is now beeping at me, so it is time to shut the door and get to work. All right, I'm going to get these sugar snap peas that are the last that's come out of our garden. I'm going to get these flash frozen and in the freezer, but what I'm going to do first, I've top and tailed them and chopped them a little bit. We're going to blanch them for just 2 minutes in a pot of boiling water. We want to keep it at the roll while these guys go in. Put the timer on for 2 minutes, and then when the 2 minutes is up, I'm going to stick it in some ice water, cool it down, and then I'm going to flash freeze it on a tray so that I can get them into the freezer, and they will look like these guys right here that I did earlier on. So these have been flash frozen, and I've popped them into a Ziploc bag, and they're going to be good for us to use when our sugar snap peas are out of season. I'm going to make a batch of curried sausages. Probably going to use about half of the sausages that we've got. If I have time today, I will make another sausage meal, but if not, I'm going to dice up all of the sausages, and any leftover bits that I don't use, I'm going to just chuck in a bag in the freezer, and then I can make another meal with these pre-cooked sausages later on down the track. But today I'm going to do a creamy curried sausages. This is a little bit different to your traditional curried sausages, but this is what our family likes. So I'm going to use some coconut cream and some curry powder. I actually have a recipe on how I do this, which I will link up above, where I did 3 different meals from a 24 pack of sausages, and one of the ones that I did is curried sausages, so you get all of the instructions in that video if you want to go and check that out. Today I'm going to be using up this bag of carrots. I still have a whole nother bag in the fridge. I've got some frozen peas I'm going to throw in. I have a little bit of celery left over, and what I am going to do is fry up this onion that I have lying around. Now, I can't eat onion, but Shannon and the kids can, so I'll fry this up and then I can add that to their curried sausages. but leave it out of mine. So I'll do the sausages and the sauce. I'll separate out a little bit for me and throw the onions in theirs. The other thing I'm going to do today is I'm going to use up some of this brown rice. We don't use brown rice very often. I tend to gravitate towards white rice when I use rice. So today the plan is to try and use up some of this. I'm probably going to use up maybe a third or maybe half of it, depending how much curried sausages I make. So making sure that we're using up some of the pantry staples that I have that are sitting around that we're not really using. So this is the plan for today. I'm going to get this going. Most of these are going to go into the freezer for us to have for lunches or those nights where nobody feels like cooking. I had 16 sausages left out of the 2 packs that I pre-cooked the other day. So we've made the Mexican rice and sausage. We used some on the pizzas that we did on Friday night. I used some in the egg frittata, egg muffins that I made. And I've still got enough for 2 full meals left. And I think what you'll find is this will actually make 6 serves in each one of these. So it'll feed our family of 4, plus we'll have some leftovers. So we're going to do a curried sausage with 1 lot. And the other lot, I'm going to see what's still left over for us to use up, but I'm looking at maybe doing a sausage casserole or a jambalaya or something along those lines with this. Now, if I don't get around to doing that today, like I said, I'm just going to pop the leftovers into a Ziploc bag and I can use that later on down the track. All right, you guys, well, I am going to call it there for today and for this week's video. I still need to do dinner tonight. So for tonight, we are going to do a roast chook and some veggies. I have had this butterflied chicken in the freezer for quite a while and it really needs to be used up. So it was heavily marked down when we picked it up. So nice cheap dinner tonight. I'm going to use up the last of the broccoli, some carrots, some of this pumpkin and some potatoes. I still have a few things that I do want to finish off in the fridge, but I'm probably going to get to those tomorrow and you guys will see those in next week's video. So if you enjoyed today's video, if you would please give it a thumbs up. I really would appreciate that. It lets me know the kind of content you guys are enjoying and what you would like to see more of. And if you would like to see what we get up to next week in our November Pantry Challenge, then don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below so you can be notified when that video comes out. Well, that's it from me today. Thanks so much for spending a little bit of time here with me. I really do hope you enjoyed today's video and I hope you guys got some ideas and some things that you might be able to pull together from the bits and pieces that you have lying around in your fridge, freezer and pantry, and ways that you can create some pretty simple meals that's going to put some extra dollars in your pocket or use up the things that you already have. All right guys, well, until the next video, take care and have a great week. Bye.